Four Midwest Guys presents Solo, a Star Wars Story full trailer review.
Hello and welcome to Four Midwest Guys presents Solo, a Star Wars Story full trailer review. So the actual official trailer is out, and we're going to go through it step by step like we usually do. We're going to do it slightly different. We're going to play the video in parts, stop, and then break down that clips that we just watched with some still frames, and we'll go back and forth between the two. So kind of a new format. We're going to try something different. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully the computer can handle it. If not, you'll never see it. So there you go. So, by the way, Mr. Brian Ankenbauer joining me tonight.
Oh, hello.
Hello. So let's.
Dodgers.
Yeah, you and your Dodgers.
Even though, as we record this right now, they're winning 1-0, but they not doing too hot. Better than the Reds, but
all right. Well, thanks for the Dodger update. I think.
No problem.
All right. Okay, so we're now up in the corner. Below us is the actual trailer, and then off to the side will be the shots, the different shots. So yeah, below us here is the trailer, the actual video, and then over to the side this way, yeah, will be where we put the actual screenshots and whatnot. So there's the format. So we'll go ahead and start with the first part of the trailer, and right now.
You're after something. Is it revenge? Money?
Okay, so let's review the first part here real quick. As I run into a few minor problems, nothing huge. So we start off, the trailer opens up on a... I'm not sure if this is Han's homeworld or if this is a different, it's kind of like an industrial kind of looking cityscape. Definitely not like glamorous by any means. Kind of what we've seen so far in the teaser trailers, would you say, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
So far. Yeah, kind of, so I don't know if this is Corellia or if this is another planet of some kind, but I thought it was kind of a cool opening, like the night, kind of a night scene on an industrial complex, I guess I would say. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, it's like a mix between the industrial complex and like a downtown New York almost.
Yeah, kind of in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. So this I thought was cool.
That was a very cool scene.
Yeah, this is what obviously looks like they're putting together a Star Destroyer. Because down in the corner there, you can see what looks to be the command module for the Star Destroyer, and above you can see it being put together. It's just got the outline, like kind of like in Rogue One, where they got the shot from below the Star Destroyer, except this one's obviously still being put together. So whatever this place is obviously a place for Imperial ships are put together. Maybe some sort of like an outpost or a harbor, kind of a space harbor of some kind. But obviously definitely some Imperial stuff going on, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks.
And if you look real close on that second line down, what looks to be, it's actually a little rat kind of scurrying across there.
Oh,
yeah, which I thought was with a little puffy tail. So
interesting detail.
Yeah, a little detail that they added in. When I saw the rat, I was like, oh, that kind of reminds me ever so slightly of The Departed, where they use the rat. It's kind of got that same kind of feel. Almost it's going to be like the Star Wars underworld. This isn't really going to be like your typical Jedi / Sith movie, really. It's more of a Star Wars underworld criminal element, dirty kind of feel, so to speak. And this is just Han walking in that environment on those streets. You see some guys huddled around, probably homeless people, maybe. Kind of like what we see, unfortunately, here. Huddling around a fire that's built into like a barrel fire. But you get the real, like foggy look in the back of the, almost like a smoke fog, mist, dreary, dark environment.
Yeah, it just reminds me like when you think of those back alley poker games.
Yes.
This is the back alley. What is it called?
Back alley poker, like an illegal game.
No. What's it called? What's the game he wins? Are they on?
Sabak.
Sabak. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe this is him actually on his way to that game, or maybe it's just him walking somewhere in this environment. But it's kind of it almost looks a little bit like the cantina scene, except at night, kind of to me, like the big round opening, which is where he walks into, kind of, sort of, ever so slightly, except much more industrial looking, I guess. Let's move on to the next one here. So here's a shot of Han and I don't know if we're getting ahead of ourselves here. I don't think we are. Welcome to the city. No. Although this seems out of place to me. I'm not sure if we saw this one or not. But this is a shot of Han. This is actually of the showdown that he has. This is a little bit more of that scene that we saw before, where we saw was it Enfys Nest is the bad guy, and the other shot with
Enfys.
all the Enfys Nest with all the bad guys in the background, and Han. This is kind of him right before he goes to grab the blaster, like we've seen in the previous trailers. This is a little bit of an expansion.
This is the right spot because we hear Kira say,
yeah.
What are you searching for? Is it
right? That's right. It's real brief, but it's an expanded part of the scene. Really, the only new scene that they added was this shot, and it kind of shows the seriousness kind of on Han's face. I think, kind of adds a little bit more to that scene, that confrontation scene that you see with Enfys Nest and his Cloud Rider gang in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of interesting, I thought. Anything else you see on there other than background or anything?
No. Not this one in particular.
Yeah, the only other thing I can think of real quick is just Jakku. Kind of looks like Jakku in the background, kind of.
Well,
sort of,
we've seen the desert part.
Desert with junk kind of looking stuff in the background.
And we know from the end of the scene when they flip the camera and they go behind him and they see Enfys Nest out there in the desert scene. So
right. So this is the poker game, or the Sabak game. This is when Han first walks into it. And here's all these aliens that we previewed on Parsecs of the Force, the trading card. You've got the Therm Scissor Punch over there on the side, and the six-eyed guy. You were right, Brian. You said, I bet he ends up in that poker game in that room, and sure enough, there he is, along with a lot of other assortment of aliens, including some sort of twin-headed alien with tentacles.
What's funny is it from the way this looks, it almost looks like Han walks in and he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell?
It looks like Lando's like, oh my god, somebody's here. Grab the
stuff and hide it.
Yeah,
that could be. Yeah, it's an illegal game. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a backdoor room, almost like you'd see in a gangster movie or even Batman movies, really, where there's something going on in the back room or something.
Or Taken.
Yeah, Taken. Yeah, so yeah, definitely got that criminal element feel. I really love the different versions of the aliens too, including that huge alien in the very back there.
Big blue one
with the lighted eye and stuff. It really reminds me of the cantina.
The big blue guy in the background looks like Mega Man.
A little bit, yeah. A giant Mega Man in the background.
That's what it looks like.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I can't wait to see this scene in its entirety because I'm sure there's a lot more to it.
I can't wait to see the movie in its entirety.
Yeah. It's very intriguing. The idea of a bunch of aliens and scum and villainy behind a poker table, in a Sabak game, aka their version of poker. Hey, it doesn't get any better than that, in my opinion. And then obviously this is Han walking on the game, and he's got that look on like they're all looking at him. Like he kind of nods his head in that scene. He's kind of like, "Can I get in on this, on the action?" I still think this might be the game. Maybe that he wins the Falcon in.
Think so?
Maybe, or it's like you had said. It's either one or two things. It's either this is the game he wins it, or this is a game where he loses something at first, and then later wins the Falcon. But yeah, those are my. I don't know. What do you think, Brian?
No, I mean that could be.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's gonna win the. I don't think he's gonna win the Falcon until the end of this movie. That's just my
I think
opinion.
that's the very end.
And I don't think Star Wars Disney has never shown us the end of the movie in the trailer.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm
You
thinking
think
it's
that's the payoff?
yeah. That's why I think this is an early
thing.
Like maybe his first time going into the game,
Yeah.
and he loses, and it's just basically a setup.
Yeah. I do like the look on his face. I like the swagger that he's kind of providing here in this scene that we kind of saw there. Just his walk kind of looks. He may not sound like Harrison Ford, but he kind of acts like
He has a lot of
mannerisms of Solo, which is important, I think, to take away, especially with all the negativity surrounding the movie so far, and his especially his portrayal. So, and here we go. And this is the scene where we stopped on, and this is what looks to me like Han pushing all of his stuff in. So it's an all-in kind of a situation. So, maybe it's him against Lando, and he's decided to go on. He's he's pushing all in, I think, here. So this could be the actual hand for the Falcon, or this is maybe where Han loses it all. I don't know. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, watching him push it all in, it's got to be something, because he's trying to get the stakes up high enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only imagine. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be he puts everything in,
Okay.
and he wins.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then Lando is going to try to win his money back,
Cons him back out of it.
and he's going to say, and Han will say, "You don't have anything you can bet.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put up my ship."
No. Okay.
And then Han wins again and takes a ship.
It takes the ship it's too. That could be. I mean, I can see a little bit of back and forth going on there. That's for sure. So, all right, let's watch the next couple scenes here real quick.
Or is it something else?
Oh, I like that.
You look good. A little rough around the
So does
edges,
she.
but good.
Very much so.
Heard about a job. Big shot gangster putting together crew.
I'm a driver, and I'm a flyer. I waited a long time for a shot like this. What do you think? Well, what do you know?
Okay, so let's move back into it here. So that's way too far.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. I'm sorry. So here's a great shot of this is now the last time we saw this shot, it was just Han looking at the Falcon, and it looks like the same shot to me. So I'm wondering if this is maybe part of the reshoots, or they digitally re-added Chewie back in to the shot, or is it just a different angle on the same shot? Because to me, it looks identical than what we saw in the last trailer.
It could be just a different angle. It could have been like a secondary camera,
Yeah,
because it does look like the exact same shot.
yeah.
And I find it hard to believe that they put the same shot in the movie twice. That could happen, but
Well, that's what I'm thinking, though. I'm thinking maybe they went back and said, well, why isn't Chewie with him? It's their ship. It's not just Han's ship, per se. It's, kind of... So I'm thinking I don't know if this was a reshoot or if this is something where they just digitally put Chewie back put him into the shot. Maybe.
yeah, I don't think
know.
he's digitally put in there, but he could be. Never know.
Or it could just be a reshoot. I don't know. It could be maybe they start with Han and they pan over to Chewie. I'm not sure. That's the whole reason.
Maybe it was something they
I
shot
this.
just for the trailer,
Could be.
just to throw us off.
Just to throw us off. Yeah.
Nothing like they did in Rogue One, right?
Completely different movie we saw there. But yeah, I love this shot. It's their destiny. The Falcon is their destiny, and they're looking up at their future. Again, it like you said last time. I think this is the movie poster. I think shot for the movie that they should have used. But yeah, so pretty cool. All right, so we find out that High Society Club we talked about last time in the teaser trailer review is indeed she's definitely a part of this high society. Kira is, and it looks like a reunion between Kira and Han going on here. I don't know, what do you think, Brian? You think she's conned her way up or worked her way up, or
I think it's an angle.
she's working a con of some kind?
I think what's funny, what reminds me of is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah, yes, that's a great example. Yeah, I could definitely see a Dirty Rotten Scan, like she's playing the part to con somebody out of some big money.
Yep.
But yeah, Akira's definitely worked her way up, or conning somebody, or is part of high society, or this is either high society or high society criminal. I'm not sure which, but it's kind of a
Well, yeah, because it does show, like, when they're talking and they say, I have a job by a crime lord or whatever.
Mm.
It looks like it's the same when they show, what's the guy's name that plays Vision?
Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
And this he's Dyson Voss. Sorry.
Right, which
This
is
one.
supposedly when he says crime lord, that's who they pan
Yeah.
to.
Right.
And we've seen another image, not in this trailer, but another one that's leaked of him standing in front of a Mandalorian gear.
Yes. Which is red Mandalorian gear, which looks pretty sweet.
It was pretty badass.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's what I think. So I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if this is just a high society thing, or if this is a like you said, like a
criminal,
upper class
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't make up my mind on this one. I would just have to see the movie, I guess. But it's something to contemplate. I took this shot because in the last trailer we saw it was just Han and Kira, and unfortunately in this one it looks like Chewie's carrying their bags.
Like carrying luggage.
Yeah, they added the luggage boy. So again, I don't know if this is a little reshoots going on, or if this is maybe the original, and they took it out.
We ain't found shit.
Yeah. You found anything yet? Nothing yet, sir. How about you? We ain't found shit. Anyway, but yeah, I thought it was just interesting that maybe another reshoot's going on here. I don't know. Here we go. Speaking of Dyson Voss, area is a nice close-up picture of Paul Bettany, a.k.a. Dyson Voss. And again, they say crime lord, and they show him, so it's pretty evident by the looks of him. He looks like he's been through quite a few knife fights or some serious scarring going on across his face. But that he is a crime lord or the crime boss that they're either working against or working with or trying to work for. I'm not sure what the angle is yet, but he is at this high society party. In fact, he's in, if you guys remember our teaser trailer review, there's like a balcony at the top, and that's exactly where he's at. He's at the top on that balcony in the middle of the high society, kind of looking over everything. Yeah. What is it, Brian?
I suppose the balcony below.
Well, yeah, the upper level. So, but yeah, so he's overseeing the party, so to speak.
Yeah, he's overlooking the room.
Yeah, so
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I dig the look. I dig the idea of him being really scarred up too, which is kind of interesting.
Scarface.
Yeah, exactly. Except this one, he looks like he went one-on-one with Freddy Krueger and Lost. But
it looks like he was actually part of the movie Saw. And he had to push his face against the blades in order to open up the hand, in order to release the. Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see Paul Bettany play a villain. I don't think I've ever seen him play a villain. He's been, he's obviously Vision. For those of you who don't know, in Avengers, before that he was the voice of Tony Stark's butler voice or whatever. His AI, and then before that, I think he was in A Knight's Tale, and he was the the guy did the announcements for the night.
Heath Ledger's.
Yeah, he was presenting his night. I don't know. What do you think about him playing a villain, Brian? Do you think he can pull it off?
Oh, I'm sure he can. He seems like a very talented actor.
Yeah,
and I'm sure given the right lines, anybody could play the villain.
True.
So
if the writing's good, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think he can do it too. I think because he's British, number one. British make pretty good bad guys, or historically speaking. So yeah, I can see him. I just want to see if he can pull off the criminal element. I don't know if I'm sure he can pull off the villain element, but can he be a criminal and that be that Scarface, like you said, Brian? It'll be interesting to see, for sure. Okay, this is just another shot. He's talking about how he says he's a pilot and he's a flyer, I think is what he says. He says he's a driver and he's a flyer.
He's a driver and a pilot.
He says a flyer. He doesn't say.
Does he flyer?
Yeah, I wanted him to say pilot. He said flyer. Anyway, I just made note of that.
That's dumb.
But this is another, showing off his driving skills and shows a little bit more of that
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, with the speeder going on. You see him do some serious driving throughout this part here. So, and then
it reminds me of when we were kids and riding our big wheels down hills.
Yeah, you
turn it and you go shh.
Or slide.
Yeah.
I used to come down the hill and slide it and do a bunch of circles. Anyway, so here's another shot. I got this shot because we were talking about this last time, Brian. This is that obviously the heist ship with the pod. Down in the below there, you can see the pod being dragged away. And there, remember how you said there was those little blue dots, Brian, that you thought you saw? Sure enough, I think that's them. A little closer up, I think that is the Cloud Rider gang, and I think that is those individual speeders or ships that they have. And I think it looks to me like a tug of war going on between them and the main ship. And
it looks like a tug of war. I don't know if it's a tug of war or the fact that they're trying to steal the same thing.
Yeah, to me, I think you can't see it, but I'm thinking they've got cables attached to it too. That's just my opinion, because you can, or maybe like you said, they're just trying to fly away as quickly as they can from them. I don't know, but
I think the main ship is trying to fly away from these guys because those guys are coming to get the same cargo, whatever it happens to be.
Right. So, but yeah, I think that's definitely that our Cloud Rider gang of Enfys Nest is. So yeah, I thought that's why I grabbed that. I was like, ooh, there's those blue dots. This was a cool shot. This is Beckett, who obviously is Woody Harrelson, who plays Beckett, who is kind of like Han Solo's mentor, and he's kissing the gun and he throws it at Han. So I don't know if this is an origin story for Han's blaster.
Yeah,
maybe they're actually where he gets it from.
Yeah, I mean that looked like what it was.
Yeah. Like an initiation into the gang kind of thing.
Yep.
Because
it could have been a thing where it was Beckett's gun, and he's like, you've brought me good luck. Here you go.
Right. And we have seen in other scenes they both have the same holster too, that they're both wearing the same. So maybe it's his gun or an extra gun that's the same model. Maybe
they both
have the same gun.
Maybe he had dual guns.
Yeah,
and he gives one of them to
Han. Yeah, and they both had the same holster. So has his protege kind of a welcome to the gang, welcome to the underworld, welcome to the life of a smuggler, which I thought was just a really cool scene, really, so. And then last scene in this last clip is, and I thought this was perfect classic Han and Chewie, where Han's like, what do you think? Chewie goes, and he's like, what do you know?
Yeah.
What do you know? I thought that was perfect. I don't know about you. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's always funny because we never know what he says.
Right.
Because it doesn't even it doesn't even make sense. Like it doesn't even follow like the right syllables.
Syllables, right.
So you
just have to go off their interpretation.
Yeah, and he's like, well, what do you know? What did he say? and so help me God if they say that Chewie in this moment says, I got a bad feeling about this. Like they did with that stupid droid in the beginning of
I think that does happen, but we'll get to it. I'll talk about it when we get to it. So but let's proceed back with the video here real quick. Next part of the video.
You got a line on a ship?
Yeah, I know a guy. He's the best smuggler around.
I heard a story about you. I was wondering if it's true.
Everything you've heard about me is true.
L3!
Let's go with the mean man's face.
Who are these guys? If you come with us, you're in this life for good.
You might wanna buckle up, baby.
Okay, so let's talk about this next clip here, next portion. So I love this this scene here. Obviously, some sort of woolly mammoth tusk, mastodon, something.
Well,
opening. Yeah,
that's not from that whatchamacallit, is it? That we see on the Sand People.
Oh yeah, it could be a. I didn't think about that. What are they called? That's gonna drive me nuts now. Banthas.
Yeah.
Bantha. Yeah, good call, B. I didn't even think about
I mean,
that.
it could be. I don't know if it is or not.
That would be awesome. Actually, that would be a good tie-in. I didn't think about that. So yeah, maybe a Bantha Tusk coming out there. Just a kind of a really cool. Obviously, this takes place on the same world the train heist does. Just a really cool looking hideout getaway.
Yeah, it looks like the back end of like one of like the old pirate ships.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Like maybe it's like a
It looks like the hull of a pirate ship.
hull of an old ship or something that they're using.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they kind of got like plank stairs kind of going up to it. Yeah, I didn't notice that before. Huh, that's cool.
I mean, that's what it kind of looks like.
Yeah. Either way, I think this might be like a criminal element, underworld. Like a base of operation.
I was gonna say it could be like Beckett's
Yeah.
operation. Like
His
headquarters
operation,
whatever.
or maybe it belongs to. I don't think it belongs to Enfys Nest, but maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it is Dyson's. His hideout on that world. I don't know. Hard to say. We don't really know yet, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I just really dig the tusks, and obviously if they're Bantha tusks, that's even cooler. And it kind of has that. But yeah, you're right. It definitely has that pirate ship kind of feel to it. Now that you mentioned that, Brian, with the curve on the back. So yeah, it could be like a crashed ship that he's turned into some sort of operation. I like it. Again, this is more about how he was walking and kind of the swagger, just how he's walking through the room.
With his hand on his belt?
Well, his hands on his belt, that to me is very Han Solo-esque. I thought they got that down really well. As far as location, I can only go by the lighting and say that this is the same place that it has the same kind of lights that the gambling took place in.
The
Sabacc game. So wherever they're at, I think it's a dusty area. This could be Kessel itself. The spice mines of Kessel, we always hear about it. So maybe this is it. I'm not sure.
Making the Kessel Run?
The Kessel Run, right? So I don't know. What do you think? Anything else you want to add that, Brian? Or?
No, but it appears to be light outside because if you see the curtains back there.
Right. So definitely sunshine coming in the back. But yeah, he hands off here to Alden Ehrenreich here. He's got the swagger down anyway for Han Solo. So. And I love this scene here. I love this. This is classic Lando. This is great. Donald Glover being Lando. Sway back, getting his. He has some.
Yeah.
I got a couple questions for you.
He's not even looking at the headquarters.
Right.
He's just holding it out, and it's been poured for him.
Yeah, that's smooth.
It was pretty good.
It's smooth, and Han's like, I've heard some questions. I've got some questions for you. I've heard some rumors. Like, it's all true, baby.
Yeah, anything you've heard about me is true.
True. Everything you've heard about me is true. Just swag, man. Just cool, badass. Kind of looks like maybe something blue coming out of there. Maybe. I don't know if it's necessarily blue milk. It might be the.
Oh, it is not milk.
It's
liquor.
If it is, it's. I would say this is the Kahlua version.
It's liquor.
The liquor. Yeah. So yeah, this is Lando being Lando at his best. I think Donald Glover's captured it perfectly. From his expression, his mannerisms, down to even how he sounds a little bit. He doesn't sound exactly like Billy D, but I'd buy it for sure. So I think this is the same location.
Same lights.
Same lights. Yeah, that's the only reason I say that. But there's something going on because they walk up to this and all of a sudden it gets really, really bright. So either they've just opened up the door to the outside.
I was gonna say maybe somebody dropped the curtain.
Dropped the curtain. I'm not sure. Or there's some sort of an explosion.
You know what I bet this is?
Or a mine like a guild going on.
You know what this is?
Yeah. What?
I bet that this might be where we meet one of the like Beckett or Val or somebody.
Okay.
And they open the door.
Yeah.
And it's light behind them, and everybody turns around to see who it is that just walked in.
Okay, kind of like Luke entering Jabba's palace kind of deal.
Yep.
Kind of that same effect. Yeah, that could be. That'd be cool. And they're up on top, and they kind of see what's going on before it happens. It could be.
Maybe.
All right. Then this is L3. So L3 is not just a protocol droid or a pilot droid. He obviously gets his hands dirty here.
Yeah, another K2SO.
Yeah, pretty much. I just hope we don't get a repeat of K2SO. That's the only thing I don't want to see, like a carbon copy with a female voice kind of thing, you know.
Oh, I agree. I think this. I think we will get partially a carbon copy of it, not 100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, because it's hard not to if you have any kind of droid not sound like the previous ones.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think the mannerisms will be kind of similar.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I think it's got all I can get so far is that it's Lando's right-hand droid, and I imagine Lando gets in quite a bit of trouble, so I'm sure it knows how to take care of problems, even though Lando has to call her off like an attack dog. So,
Right.
but yeah, maybe she's partial, like bodyguard droid.
Yeah,
maybe. Could be. I love this scene. I use this as the background scene, obviously, for this particular setup. This is just badass to me. I could watch. They use this to announce the trailer. It was just a clip of the engine lighting up. You know, just literally watching the engine come on. To me, that gives me goosebumps when I see that when they turn on the engine to the Falcon. That could have been a trailer, like not a trailer, but a poster to me. That would have been badass as a teaser poster.
Just the lights.
Just the engine itself coming on in the background. For me, that's just awesome. That's fucking awesome. To hear that thing come on, to hear that classic roar of the engine of the Falcon, that's what makes the Falcon badass.
I could have done
One
with
of
that.
many versions.
I could have done without it.
reasons. Anyway, badass in my opinion.
Oh, I believe you.
Yeah, it does. It gives me goosebumps, man. I love it. Nostalgic coming up. I love this scene. This is the buckle up, baby. And Han being annoyed by it.
Yeah.
He's like, this thing's got some, like this has got some serious kick. Or
Right. Better buckle up, baby.
Better buckle up, baby. Buckle up, baby.
Now, was he talking to Han when he said buckle up, baby, or was he talking to his girl robot?
No, I think he's turning back to Han and like he's almost showing off. He's like, you might want to buckle up, baby. Like, this thing kicks some ass, Sit down and you can see how, even on the expression on Alden's face there, that Han's annoyed, obviously being told,
Right.
what to do. And it's interesting to see Han
In the backseat?
in the back seat. Right. So, and obviously a very pristine Falcon. You can actually see the colors of the of the seats and
The color of the seats and the buttons and
the
everything.
buttons, and everything's real bright and shiny and awesome looking and not used at all. And that pretty much takes us up to this point. Just to point this out real quick, this is the range troopers apparently have magnetic boots, so that's just a shot showing that.
Yeah,
And
which is kind of cool.
Which is cool because for this next scene, which you can see down right below us here, you can see they're kind of walking on the side of the train, not just the top, but the side. So you've got blasting going on
right, because
three
we saw in the trailer when the train turns and twists.
Yeah,
and we were like, well, how do they stay on? That's how they stay on. Their
magnetic boots. So, and with that in mind, we will proceed to the next clip here.
Let me give you some advice. Assume everyone will betray you, and you will never be disappointed.
I got a really good feeling about this.
Okay. So, put it down here. All right. So here we are again. You can see, like we were just talking about, the range troopers on the top, and you can also see a range trooper on the side of it. So we're gonna get a hell of a fight on the top of a train at different angles and different dimensions, which I think is pretty badass. Really, I think a shootout on top of a train with people that are able to walk on the bottom of it, maybe even. I don't know. What do you think about the range troopers? I now that I see it and see them in action, I like it a lot more than that card that we saw from Denny's that we previewed on Parsecs of the Force.
Right. Speaking of Denny's.
Yeah, you went there. That's right. How'd it go? How was it?
Oh, so it was neat to see Star Wars on the menu and stuff. The cups were a decent size. I mean, they were probably a little bigger than a Solo cup.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Dum-dum.
But the Solo cup was $3.99. Okay?
Yeah.
The cards came in packs,
Yeah.
$3 for 2 cards.
What?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No. And there's 12 of them.
Do you get those particular cards per pack, or you don't know?
You don't know. They come like baseball card packs.
$3 for 2 cards?
$3 for
So
two cards.
$1.50 a card.
And you can only buy 4 packs.
There's a limit?
Limit of 4 packs per person.
Wow.
So that's
That
only
is-
8 cards. And there are 12
That's
in
very...
the set.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
That's
So
really disappointing.
needless to say, I did not waste any money.
Yeah, getting the packs of
Getting
the
the packs
cards.
of cards.
I don't blame you. That's
Because
disappointing.
I thought about it first, because we sat down, I was like,
Oh, man.
oh, I'm getting packs of cards. And I was looking through the thing, and on the back it says $3. And I was like, oh, I wonder how many it has. And it says each pack contains 2. I was like, 2?
Wow. That's disappointing. That's really disappointing. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. But anyway, getting back to the picture, yeah. So it should be really cool to see a shootout like
Any
this.
new Stormtroopers I'm excited to see. I love Stormtroopers.
Stormtrooper. You like the new design, yeah. I wasn't too sure about Stormtroopers having the fur on, but now I kind of see them in action and seeing them on top of a train and moving and seeing the everything move with it. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also this goes back to the because we're prior to A New Hope and everything.
Yeah.
So this is all like we'll call primitive Stormtrooper kind of gear. Like they've gotten rid of this in other shows. So
yeah, to me, I think it suits the environment though. This is something you would only see in mountainous areas, and we really haven't been.
We only see with snow.
Yeah, we've been in snow, but we've never been in mountains and snow.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's where people are like, well, these are way different than the snow troopers. Why didn't they just use snow troopers? Well, it kind of fits here because this is a completely different environment. It's mountainous and snow. It's not just snow, just not just the clothes. But anyway, just really cool. I can't wait to see this train heist. This thing has me amped up, to be honest. The more I see of it, I've probably seen too much of it, to be honest. But yeah. Here's another cool shot of the range trooper taking one to the chest. This is right after he gets shot, and they light him up with the phosphorus for effect. Just kind of badass looking, really cool.
Yep.
What do you think, B? Anything? No. Okay.
I mean, I like it. I already said I like it. So
okay, copy. So, and this is just a really cool shot of the train again. I'm really digging this train heist again, and here you get a good shot of what's really going on. You can see the ship coming along to pull up the pod, take the pod off the train. You can see where the heist is going to take place. Again, you can see how it's tilting. It's going to be badass, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't know, B, what do you think? Anything else I'm missing?
No, just the fact that it has 2 layers. So the track runs down the center of it and has an upper and a lower level. Yeah. And the bottom, the upper one looks more like similar to what a train would look like.
Yep.
And the bottom one has cannons and stuff on it. So
for armament.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's going to be really cool to see those range troopers and even Han. I'm sure they're going to have the magnetic boots, I would think, too. Maybe see them like hanging upside down and they're off to the side shooting each other. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be cool, I think. Let's move on next shot here. Okay, so they only show this for a split second, but this is where you see that walker come down on. And in front of you there is actually, I think that's one of those mud troopers. The card that we previewed, the Denny's card.
Yep.
I think that's a mud trooper. I think this is a swamp, like a swamp planet, because you can kind of see like the vegetation. It's got fire going on because it's some sort of a battle, but I think this is like a muddy swamp area. I've heard some people think that this is Mimban. Mimban is it's something from the EU. It's been used in the book Mind's Eye. I can't remember the first word now. Anyway, Splinter of the Mind's Eye. So it's out there, but it's never been used before. So maybe this is actually Mimban, and that you see the Imperials in a swamp-like environment. So if we had seen the Imperials come to like Dagobah, we probably would have seen mud troopers and that sort of thing. So this kind of environment. But it's very similar. But the entire planet is kind of like Dagobah. It's all swamp, like a swampy kind of muddy kind of area. So which explains kind of the smoke from the battle and maybe like the mist and stuff
Yeah,
going
that'd
on.
be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I think so. I would love to see a walker in like, especially in a swamp or muddy environment, because that's where you would think they'd want to use a walker, you know, instead of wheels,
Right.
so to speak. So makes more sense, just in your mind. Here's another picture of Val,
Who we think is a sharpshooter.
who we think some sort of sharpshooter. Here she's shooting what appears to be like a grapple gun of some kind. So maybe this is how they start the whole attaching the pod to the ship, or the ship to the pod, you know, or vice versa. Maybe this is how she does it. Maybe this is how she's using her sharp shooting skills.
Yep. Did you happen to see the interview with Kiera, the girl who plays Kiera, and she was talking about the Han Solo and the women of this movie?
No.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Copy. But yeah, so we're getting a better feel for her character. I want to hear her character talk. I'm interested into this character now. What do you think, Brian?
I have mixed reservations about this character, and after hearing about the interview,
Yeah. Then maybe she doesn't play a big part. Or...
well, I think that Kiera played, or whatever,
Val.
Kiera.
Mm-hmm.
Who plays her? What's her name?
The Mother of Dragons. Yeah. Give me a minute.
I know.
Emily Clark.
Yeah, Emily Clark. Okay.
Yeah.
Her interview, I think she gave away way too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we won't talk about it. We'll see. All right. So let's move on. And then here's Beckett, and Beckett's through this whole clip here. He's talking about trust no one. If you don't trust
Let's talk about
anybody,
the Hunger Games, because that's what it looks like in this one.
kind of, yeah. But he's like, if you don't trust anybody, you'll never be let down, which is a theme that we see in Han later on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's. I really think he's going to betray him, or something's going to happen to him that causes Han to take on that attitude, or something along those lines. It's setting it up big time for that. I don't know. What do you think about his big line to Han about, if you never trust anybody, you'll never be let down?
So this is a spoiler review, right?
Yes, by the way, spoiler alert. I don't have my thing, but spoiler alert.
Right, okay. So
Just in case we're right.
So what I think is going to happen is that they're going to form this big bond, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that Solo's going to trust him.
Yeah.
They're all going to be a team. Val
Yeah.
is going to kill him
Oh, really? And betray him?
and betray him, which in turn is one of the women in this movie hurting Solo because Solo was so attached to him,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Then they're going to go their separate ways, or whatever happens to Val. And then
Yeah.
Kiera
Yeah.
is going to stab
Come back into his life.
she's going to stab Solo in the back.
Oh, okay. Which,
And that's,
that's how it ends.
I think that's how it's going to play out, just based on the interview that I saw.
Now that she gave away a little too much.
Yeah, because in the interview she says how the women of Han Solo's life always let him down,
Gotcha.
and it just kind of fit, and I was like, huh,
That's the theme.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let's move on here real quick. So this is the big scene that everybody's talking about. This is Chewie kind of bumping heads.
Pretty lumpy.
It's either it could be his son Lumpy.
No, that's not his son, Lumpy.
Yeah.
That is Lumpy's mom,
Or it could be Nala.
and that's who it is.
You're pretty sure it's
Oh
Nala.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely he doesn't lean. He leans into Kiss.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's gonna be.
But it's almost like a bumping heads, like it's an embrace, but it
Right.
could be taken either way.
Right, but I'm fairly positive that this is going to be null, and they're going to they're going to have a kid named Lumpy.
I think it's Nala. I'll say 75% Nala. I'll say 25% Lumpy.
Nope.
I only say Lumpy because he's going to end up with a life. I'm pretty sure we're going to figure out what the life debt is to Han Solo in this movie, and he has to go with Han. And I see him leaving his son behind a little easier than I do see him leave his wife behind.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a pretty understanding wife.
I don't know. You
Even
gotta
if
come
that
back.
is part of your
They gotta-
culture.
They got to come back to make the Christmas special.
It's not canon, damn it.
It may be after this movie.
Don't say it. All right. All right, and the final part for this particular segment. This is Han with the reverse of I have a bad feeling about this. Because what do we see? I think it's in The Force Awakens. I know he says it in Star Wars, and I think he says it
Every movie.
almost every movie.
It is every movie.
He says, I have a bad feeling about this. And this is the reverse. So this
Somebody
is-
says it in every movie.
Right. But here he says, I got a good feeling about this. This is an optimistic Han Solo. This is a
This is pre getting
fucked over
fucked over by
Han
the
Solo.
women.
Yeah. Maybe.
So I got a good feeling about this.
I've got a good feeling about this. He's the optimist. He's young. He's vibrant, So he hasn't become the full on scoundrel yet. He's he's a kid, right? He's 19 years old. So he's got his whole life in front of him. Nothing's bad's really happened to him probably at this point. Hopefully. So yeah. All right, so let's continue with the trailer here. Okay.
Since when do you know how to fly? 190 years old? You look great. Push it.
So glad we took this job!
Okay, so in the trailer, and let's review it. So, I love this whole scene. He gets up, he's like, you can pilot? He's basically saying, I can fly,
Well, yeah,
you need my help.
Well, yeah, he says, since when can you fly?
Yeah, since when you can fly. He just goes, well, you're 190 years old? You look great.
You look great.
I love this whole scene, this whole back and forth. It's awesome. This is where obviously he becomes the trusted co-pilot that that Han needs. So and it'll be interesting to see if they answer the question: is Han the best pilot in the galaxy, or is it actually just Chewie behind the one that's actually the best? Because we've seen the Falcon fly pretty well without Han now.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if they lend any clearance to that. But obviously Kira can't handle the responsibilities of being a co-pilot here, and he kind of steps in.
Right.
So, but pretty cool to see. And I love the. This reminds me of Empire. Almost, you get that classic in the cockpit look, and they're both looking. Everybody's looking on in worry and almost horror about what's going on.
That and the other thing you can notice here is that you can see every button in the cockpit.
Yeah, which is really cool. Which we never really get to see. You don't see how far up the switches and everything are. So yeah, it's cool to see. It's just, it's that iconic Star Wars kind of scene, which I love. This was a cool shot. Obviously, I thought this was this. I'm pretty sure this is the Kessel Run, which apparently is a combination of asteroids and a nebula or nebulas. I think so. Maybe this is both. Maybe you've got some asteroids in a nebula kind of thing, and that's why you actually see them kind of hook around, up and around. You see them fly around here. But this is just an expansion of that awesome shot that we saw the Star Destroyer coming through, and now they're kind of flying around it. And they're being chased, so maybe he's being chased the whole time through the Kessel Run by the Empire.
Could be.
But yeah, it's cool to see the Falcon flying, and I've almost gotten used to the Falcon, like the front of the Falcon, being just like cone shaped, almost.
Did you have you seen the diagram that somebody did, and they pointed out that somebody got it wrong?
Somebody got it wrong about the front of the ship.
Yep.
What's that? What was their argument? Because I've heard it's an escape pod.
No, the escape pod makes sense, like why there's a hole there.
Yeah.
But it's the angles that the two side pieces are at.
Yeah.
Are wrong.
Or off from the original.
They're off. So like instead of it being like a 28 degree, it's at 24 or 22.
So they got it off by about 6 degrees.
Yeah, somebody took the time to measure out the
angle did the math.
And they said it's off by a little bit. It was funny. But
Somebody at Lucasfilm screwed up.
yeah. Because it makes sense that it makes sense that the center would be an escape pod or something. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I totally buy that. I think it's a great way to explain it.
But it was the side. It's off by. I think it's funny.
Somebody took the time to actually do the math.
Uh huh.
And it's a good thing it's science fantasy and not science fiction, I guess. All right, another great shot of the Falcon flying into. I'm sure this is Enfys Nest here, how do they say the name? Enfys. That's it. I can't pronounce that. Enfys Nest, or some sort of the outpost where we see Han with his gun. I think that's the same thing. I think it's the same scene. And again, it's some sort of desert planet with an ocean in the background. So not sure what we're looking at, but this I thought was cool. This is our gangster.
Jedi blades.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the blade. So it's the brass knuckles with blades on each side, curved blades, and then it kind of looks like the blades that are used in Last Jedi with the guards. Some of those blades they use are kind of lit up electrical blades, or I don't know what you would call that.
Yeah,
they haven't really come up with the term for it yet, I don't think. But it's kind of interesting. It looks like he has either one or maybe even two, one for each hand.
He's got one on each hand.
So
yeah,
he's in action.
And then he breaks through that pot.
Yeah, that's actually. In fact, I'll go ahead and switch to it, and then you can see it right here. It's in action here. So he's swinging through, and he ends up breaking through that pot with it. So definitely deadly, if nothing else. Maybe that's why his face is so scarred up.
Because he's been practicing.
Practicing too hard. Went to shave with it. I don't know what happened. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see that take place. And I'm not sure how you fight back against something unless you find some other sort of lit blade that's not a lightsaber.
Well, they did. There was that thing that said that we would possibly see
Jedi and Sith.
In this.
Yeah, that is a rumor. So I don't know. We'll have to see
like
what
I
happens.
said, it's kind of hard to imagine that you'd see a movie, a Star Wars movie, without Jedi.
Well, I think this movie could do it. I think it could stand on its own without.
Like, I'm not saying that there needs to be a Jedi battle.
Yeah.
And they're not, but you have to at least see a Jedi. Their presence is in the galaxy. You have to see at least a Jedi, at least a Sith person. You know what I mean? Like,
they're in hiding. I mean, you could show a Jedi being hunted down by an Inquisitor at this point in time.
Right, but you have to at least see something
going on.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. All right.
Maybe they'll see Vader.
This is the scene I loved probably the most in this entire trailer. This is Chewie in action.
Chewie going nuts.
Yeah, literally. This is the killer Chewie. This is the mighty Chewbacca. He's literally picked up this stormtrooper and has it over his head and pile drives him head first into the ground. So his head literally goes into his body.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. I would love to see. Give me 5 minutes of that in the movie, and I'd be perfectly fine with that. Seeing Chewie being awesome. Just badass Chewie, and you see how strong he really is. He may be a gentle giant. We know everybody wants to hug Chewie. He's Chewie. Oh, I love Chewie, but he is the mighty Chewbacca after all. And he is a Wookiee. And you get to see the strength of it finally kind of on display, because that was one of my big criticisms of Revenge of the Sith is you had all these Wookiees, you didn't really see them do much other than shoot lasers. I mean, you know, these people, they're huge. They're giant walking carpets that are really strong. So, I don't know. What do you think, Brian? You like the idea of seeing Chewie in action?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's good to see because we hear about it in A New Hope.
Yeah.
And he's like, he could rip your arms off, blah blah blah. Right. And you're like, and then to be able to see him in action is gonna be pretty cool.
Well, yeah, even Jabba the Hutt says the mighty Chewbacca. I mean, if a gangster or the head of a gangster is calling you mighty, then there's a reason for it.
Yep.
So he's the muscle, and you're finally seeing him in action. I think it's long overdue, honestly. So yeah, very cool to see. I got this just because the background's different. This doesn't look like the ice world, but it does look kind of hill-like.
Well, yeah, I mean, this
structure mountainous.
This looks like where we see Lando in that one scene like he's inside of a cave looking up at the ship or whatever.
Yeah,
That's what it looks like we're at.
we're probably what we're looking at.
We're like on the outside of that cave.
Yeah, I wonder if this is Kessel because this has kind of got like a mining kind of look in the background.
It could be.
Like
I mean,
they
and
mine-
that could be
strip
what
mine
and that
or
could be
something.
what we see with Lando, is he's actually inside Kessel watching the stuff be mined.
Right, with the explosions and the
Yep.
lights. Yeah, very much so. So, and obviously you see L3 in action again. So, I think we'll see a lot of her character. Oh, come on. It's Alpha's big brother, big sister.
Yeah.
And then obviously the end of the... I don't know why they even put this in here, but because we know he survives, for God's sakes. Chewie has to survive. He's in the next 5 Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
But they show, that it looks like they're on the outside of one of these pods. And it's probably still attached at this point, I'm thinking. And it's probably doing its leaning thing, and Chewie is going over the side of it.
I was gonna say, my guess is they were fighting,
Yeah.
and neither one of them have the
The
magnetic boots.
Yep.
And so when it turns, the door was open.
Yep.
And Chewie falls, and Solo goes after him to catch him.
Yeah. Now I wonder. Now I didn't get a shot of it, but the next shot is the boulder coming right at him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is the life debt moment?
I think it could be.
Yeah.
I think it could be. Like he's like, you saved my life. Now I'm gonna, save yours.
Save yours. This is interesting to me because if this is the big moment, I was surprised to see it in the trailer. I mean, everybody knew it was coming,
but it's not the big moment of the movie. It's just the big life debt moment.
The life debt moment. So, so that's it for the trailer. The trailer review. Brian, final thoughts on the overall the full trailer?
I mean, after seeing this full trailer, it makes me even more excited to see the movie. I can't wait for May 25th to get here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here. I mean, you definitely get a real feel for this movie. I think it's going to be the heist movie. I think it's going to be the dark criminal underbelly of the Star Wars universe, which we really haven't seen too much of. And interesting to dive into that world and to dive into the smuggler's world and to learn more about how Han Solo goes from being that optimistic kid to being the scoundrel that he is when we see him in A New Hope in the cantina. It looks really fun. A lot of action. It looks like excitement. I think it's just going to be a good, if nothing else, it's at the bare minimum, it'll be a fun Star Wars movie. So, all right. Before we go, where can you find us? You can go to your one-stop shop is the www.4midwestguys.com. Again, that's the number 4 midwestguys.com. There you can find links to our Twitter, to our Facebook, to our iTunes, to help me out here, Brian. To Podbean, yeah, everything. You can follow, like, and subscribe. All of our social media is there, all ways to find our podcast.
They're all listed.
They're all there. So make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe off that. And also, all of our podcasts are listed there in chronological order. They're also categorized at the top. So make sure you can just click on those links and just get that one particular program if that's all you want. Or, you can just go through it chronologically as we post them. Also, you can, if you're on Twitter, you can find us at the number 4 midwestguys.com. Brian, where can they find you?
At Ankzone, and then on Instagram at _real_Ank.
Right, and your Instagram, that's just got some pictures and stuff.
Yeah, behind the scenes stuff. I maybe might have a couple videos, but we mostly got pictures of behind the scenes stuff here from the studio.
Yep.
So
cool. And you can also follow me on Twitter at bwilly1977. You can also follow both me and Brian. You follow Brian at Ankzone and me at bwilly1977 on the new application Stardust. We kind of just throw up our little 30-second clips of reviews like everybody else does. So go in there and check us out. Follow, like, and subscribe there as well if you want to hear some stuff that we don't necessarily always cover on the podcast itself, but other shows that we watch, and then we leave some quick reviews.
yeah, and if you want us to check out your stuff and possibly put you on one of our podcasts, go ahead and tag one of us in your review.
Absolutely. So appreciate it. And Brian, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Yep, and this is B. Willie saying, may the force be with you always.